So yes guys, hello and welcome back to the Game Week 1 post-match reaction. And the Game Week 1 now has officially completed after the Spurs-Leicester game. And this is a series where I'll run throughout the entire Premier League 38 game weeks, or analyse how my teams perform after each game week and what are some of the outstanding players to look at as well. Also do a series where we look at the top 5 transfer in player and top 5 transfer out player, and comment a little bit on how is that move necessary and some of the strategies that you can apply into the next game week. So let's get straight into it. So first, I did okay in game week 1. I've got 76 points, 600k in global. The defense this week is very solid. I've got Trent giving me a clean sheet, 8 points. Lewis Hall, even under the short red card, 5 points, clean sheet as well. -1 because of the yellow card. And Pedro Porro, who's got a goal for me. And in goal, I've got Mark Flecken, who's got 6 saves. So that's 2 extra points added into the bank. In midfield, Salah, of course, captain, 28 points. The biggest points sources comes from. I've also got Diogo Jota, who's given me 8 points. He's fantastic in that Liverpool team as well. Gordon Blank, which is reasonable because they played for 10 men in 10 men for like quite a long time. And 70 minutes is actually quite a positive sign because of the minute he played in preseason is not that much, and he gets straight into the team. Shows that he's still the #1 choice in that left wing position for Newcastle. So I'm not really worried about Anthony Gordon now. Heung-min Son, unfortunately, blank as well. A 1-1 drew for Spurs to Leicester is not ideal because they got 15 shots, 7 on target. In the first half, they should perform really. They should have got 2 or 3 goals, but they just didn't catch the chance. So again, for Son, I'm a little bit worried because of the fixtures, right? Game week 3 is Newcastle. Game week 4 is Arsenal at home. So that makes it a little bit of a worry. In game week 2, I'm still not going to transfer him because he played Everton at home, and we see how crap Everton is playing against Brighton. So Heung-min Son is going to stay in the team. And in front line, Solanke, Isak, and Pedro. Same thing with Solanke. Is a bit unfortunate. Same thing as Son. I'm not too worried. Solanke at 7.5, I think he's totally worth it, and I think he's gonna be in my team most of the time because you can see 0.34 xg and 0.15 xA, almost 0.5 expected goal involvement in the 90, which shows a positive sign. And the minute he played full 90 in that Spurs team when he first come, no preseason at all, so that's a positive sign. So I'm probably gonna keep Solanke for quite a long time. You look at the fixtures, they ain't too bad despite these two, right? So yeah, Solanke is still a pretty good option. Same thing with Isak. Unfortunate because of the red card by Fabian Schär. By the way, Bertrand Diaz, he is a coward. He's literally a coward. That he's an actor. Like, I don't even have any other comments. That's just disgusting from Bertrand Diaz. If you watch the game. So Isak, I'm not too worried. He's got the goal threat. He's the main man. He's even got assist in this kind of tough situation. So there's no need to worry about Isak. João Pedro, which is pretty interesting because he plays in that number 10 role. And Danny Welbeck, unfortunately, surprisingly, got 1 goal, 1 assist. So it makes João Pedro looks a bit interesting, or that's not appropriate word, a bit uncertain, but he played 81 minutes, which is a pretty good minute. And I think Brighton under Hertler are doing really good job. Brighton players are definitely worth to look at in that game week 4 and 5 to go for a short punt. You got several options like Mitoma, Minter, João Pedro. I'm not recommending Danny Welbeck because his minutes is quite in a risk, especially when they signed the new forward / number 10 Gutter, and when Evan Ferguson come back. So yeah, but I think João Pedro among all are have the most promising minutes, and he's on penalty as well. I have to clarify that again. I think João Pedro is still pretty good for me. And I think Man United at home are not terrible at all. I think Man United at home, with what Brighton plays against Everton, what I've seen from them under Fabian Herzler, I think they can definitely give a go to Brighton, to Man United at home especially. So I'm not too worried about João Pedro as well. And moving on to bench, Valdemarson, yeah. Nico Williams, Forest plays pretty good. Nico Williams is one of the most attacking. He's pretty attacking in that game. 0.13 XA, 0.16 expected goal involvement shows he's pretty attacking full wide. Unfortunately, Danilo got injured at the first 20 minutes of the game, which could be a problem for Forest defense. But I'm not really too worried about Nico Williams' minutes. He's probably gonna be the most attacking among him and Aina, because Aina come off early due to injury as well. So suddenly Nico Williams, I think, becomes pretty good choice if you want to go for him, especially you got players like Kwanzaa. If you want to get it out. So Nico Williams got Southampton away and Wolves at home. There's two pretty good fixtures. I think Nico Williams is going to stay in the team as well. Same thing with Robinson. I'm probably going to play one of Robinson or Nico Williams in game week 2. One of them play Leicester at home, which is Robinson, and the other one play Southampton away. I think Robinson, you just play him based on these two fixtures, because these 2 weeks are the one where you're going to play him. To newly promoted side, and he's very attacking. So I think first few game weeks, he's definitely one of the reasons why you got Robinson. Afterwards, he's probably going to sit on your bench for quite a long time until game week. I don't know. It's not good looking. It's not good looking, bruv. But anyway, game week 2 and 3, I think Robinson will get at least one start in my team. I definitely gonna play him game week 3 because the Newcastle Spurs clash. Probably not gonna play both of the players. So it's gonna be Trent, Nico Williams, and Robinson in game week 3. And the one that worries me a little bit is Christopher Nkunku, though. He played 58 minutes. I'm not sure if that's going to continue in the next few games. If it does, I'm probably going to transfer him out. I got to wait and see the Wolves game again. Because as we see, they bought João Felix again. I don't know how many people they've got in their team right now, but they're in a serious trouble right now. I don't know how they can afford it. I don't know how many players they have to force to sell before the deadline. But João Felix is another player that can give minute threat, that can split minute from Christopher Nkunku, because João Felix can play almost all the position that Nkunku plays. So I gotta wait and see for one more game how he performs against Wolverhampton. If he still gets subbed off early, I might consider transfer him out to Leon Bailey, because of the Villa fixtures from game week 3 to 6 is pretty fantastic. So yeah, Nkunku is actually the one that worried the most, because his underlying stats are pretty okay, 0.33 expected goal involvement per 90. But if his minutes is like 60 minutes ours, I'm probably still gonna get rid of him because he's just so uncertain. And it looks like they got loads of options up front. They got Pedro Neto, they've got Cole Palmer, they got Mudryk, they got Nkunku, then they got João Felix, they got the Mark Gui dude, and Nicholas Jackson. Sometimes Nicholas Jackson can play off the left. So yeah, Chelsea just got too many players that don't. I think other players would avoid for sure. I think the only certain player is Cole Palmer in that team. But yeah, it's just overall Nkunku I need to observe for 1 or 2 more weeks before I make my decision to transfer him out or other to keep him. I don't know. Yeah. So few players that stand out in game week 1. So Mazraoui is very interesting, but we'll leave him to the games to the video coming out in the next few days. Of course, Bukayo Saka. I was struggling to pick whether Bukayo Saka or Son. I picked Son, and Saka got me 12 points. I got 12 points, which is a bit of unlucky, I'll say, in some ways. But the reason I bought Son is because I think the fixture is slightly better in the first 5 than Bukayo Saka, because he has to play Villa, away. No, Villa away, Spurs away, Man City away. And I think those three are definitely worse than a Newcastle and a Spurs in Newcastle and the Arsenal than Spurs. I think, but I think both Saka and Son are the type of player that can score no matter the fixtures. But I think from game week 6 to 8 is where I'm going to transfer Saka in. He's just too good to slip past through. So regret a little bit, but is that regret? Not really, because I think Son have the capability to do the same thing in game week 2 as well. So yeah, well done if you got Saka. If you don't need to worry. Just wait because the fixtures aren't really good. And I probably won't get him in the team whatsoever. Kai Havertz again is another interesting player in the Arsenal team because I think in game week 1, right, a lot of new people that comes into FPL will rush in to buy these players that score big points, like Havertz, like a Danny Welbeck, or a Saka or a Yone Weezer whatsoever. But gotta look long term, right? Because game week 1 team you chose should be the one that most of them, like, or all of them, that plays you for at least the next 3 to 5 game weeks. Because you don't want to force an early transfer whatsoever. Whatever the circumstances is, you got to hold on from these big haul, like double-digit haul player, because they might score 2 points and the player you transfer out got 15 points. That suddenly makes you a very bad mood, in a bad situation. So, same thing with Havertz. He's a good player. He's really, really good player, but also because of the fixtures, I'm probably not going to go for him. It's just as simple as that. And I think in game week 2, right? Let me show you my game week 2 team first for now. Is Mark Flecken, of course, Liverpool away. I'm not expecting anything from that at all. And back three is Porro, Robinson, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. For Porro, we're gonna wait for Ange Postecoglou's information on that because I'm not sure how serious the injury is. But if he's not serious, I'm definitely gonna play him. He scored a goal in the first game. Like, that shows you how good he is. And if it's serious, I'm probably going to stop him off and play Nico Williams instead. So I'm still rocking with 3-4-3. It's still the same formation. It just Lewis Hall is gonna be on the bench because I think among all these 4.5 mil defenders, number one choice is Robinson as well. Home game to Leicester. Second one is Nico Williams against Southampton. Southampton looks like an absolute rotter for me. They're going down. I'm sorry, they're going down. And Bournemouth away is the third best fixtures among all these three players. Because I do think Bournemouth still have the ability to score, even without Solanke. They got Semenyo, they got Jefferson, now they got Evan Nielsen from Porto. So I think Bournemouth are still a solid team. Where compared to Southampton and Leicester, I think it's a very close call. But because Robinson play Leicester at home, so that's the reason why I play Robinson. As for Nkunku, I'm still not going to go for him because I want to observe for one more week. And I think João Pedro against Man United at home is not a bad fixture. Brighton likes to play against Man United. So I'd rather play João Pedro than Nkunku in case Nkunku gets sub off prior 60 minutes again. So I'm going to observe one more. So if Nkunku doesn't perform, I'm probably going to force a transfer game week 3 for him out to Leon Bailey or some other 6.5 mil midfielders. So that's how my team looks like. My plan is rolling the transfer to game week 3 and see how it goes after that. If you look at the game week 2 fixtures, right? Of course, the most outstanding one is Man City against Ipswich at home. I have to say, right, if you go Haaland, I'm just begging Haaland won't score or hat-trick against Ipswich. Because I'm very tempting to bring a Man City player in, especially in that midfield. I think De Bruyne is the best option among all of them. Because if I want to get Haaland, right, I have to take a hit, a -4 hit. That's going to be Salah and Isak, or Salah and Solanke to Haaland and Rodgers. Do I think Haaland and Rodgers are going to score more points than Salah and Solanke? Not really. So that's why I have to take it because I'm going with Salah in my team on Haaland, so I have to take. That's what I decided before the season starts, so I have to hold it for another for at least 3-4 weeks. And to be honest, despite this Ipswich at home game, I'm not too worried about other 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 games because we all know how good Haaland is, and it just this Ipswich at home game bothers me really much. I think De Bruyne, he could outscore Haaland. I really like De Bruyne. He plays majority in that game on the left. If you see the heat map, he's really good. I think he's gonna carve Ipswich open with his magical crosses. If you see the game with Ipswich and Liverpool, right, in first half, Ipswich play their own stuff. They have some good style of football there. But in the second half, 2 goals are all cut it open by the crosses. Trent with a through ball to Salah, and then it's Szoboszlai with a through ball to Salah as well. So I think with the players they've got in their backline, it's still quite young. They still haven't got enough experience, and I think De Bruyne, that he's gonna catch those small mistakes and deliver the ball to whoever it is, have the best chance. And I think De Bruyne could have an absolute haul in this game week. It might be the Wolves game come back again where he's got 4 goals. It is not impossible. So I'm really quite tempting to get De Bruyne, but again, Son, Everton at home is not a bad fixtures. So that's why I'm not probably that stopped me from getting the transfer from Son to De Bruyne. If Son got Newcastle away this game, I'm probably just going to force the transfer. But the fact is, he got Everton at home, so I'm probably not going to go make the transfer whatsoever. So yeah, that's probably some of the early thoughts. And oh, by the way, Kwanzaa, I think if you get him, if you got if he's like your third best defender of your team, just get him out because you need a solid defensive rotation, right? So Kwanzaa minutes not guaranteed at all. So if he's your third best defender, just transfer him out to a Robinson or other 4.5 mil defender because he might drop in price soon, and that's going to hurt you because you're not going to make other transfer unless to another 4.0. So if you're small at the back, make the Kwanzaa, and you got Kwanzaa, make the transfer ASAP, I'll suggest. And as for Barco, I suggest if he's your fifth defender, just eat the price drop, keep him in there because you don't want to waste a transfer on a 4.0 mil defender. And yeah, that's basically much. So game week 1, 76 points is not bad. It's pretty decent. I've got 80 points last season, but it's only 800k or so. So 600k is not bad. And game week 2 is going to be big because if Haaland put up a big score, that's going to pull the difference. And just got to hope Salah keeps deliver. And I believe he can do it. So yeah. And that's the end of today's video, lads, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a comment down below what score you got in game week 1 and what's your transfer plan. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the transfer tips. See you later. Peace.